Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Masters Tour. We're live from the Lake Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm TJ, and I'm joined by special guest, Frozen from Team Liquid. Frozen, thanks for joining me. How you feeling today?
Feeling very good, actually. Way better than yesterday, and I'm really happy to watch Dogs games because we did a lot of prepping together, and I'm happy to see that one of us is being pretty successful in this tournament.
How'd you do in the tournament?
Pretty rough. I think I got some of the bad matchups, whereas Dog got more warriors. So what ended up happening was that we actually thought our deck was good against the mirror because we had so many freezes, right?
Yeah.
So in theory, if we both the mages drop big minions and we both freeze each other's boards, we'll come out ahead with the extra 2 blizzards and be able to punch in. But what ended up happening was that their random card generation is actually really, really good at generating freezes themselves.
Yeah.
And since we don't actually have that much card draw and fireballs as like the stock freeze mage list, we ended up behind in that matchup specifically.
Well, it's working out for Dog. I guess you're right. He's hitting the good matchups, and I think he hit a good one for this one, but we'll talk about that in a few moments. But before we jump into it, let's go ahead and recap Group A. Possessi and Tom60229 moved on to the winner's match, and tomorrow at the beginning of the day, we'll see Fino and Kalax face off in the elimination match. That group is pretty rough. It's like four mages, I think. Mage Mirror versus Mage Mirror. It's pretty insane, and they're all Cyclone mages, so we'll have to see how that one works out tomorrow. But jumping into Group B, we're going to jump into the first initial match. It'll be Hypno versus Dog, and then Gallon versus Nyria. Frozen, what are your thoughts on this group? We're seeing a little bit more class diversity with Hypno bringing Warrior, Gallon having Warrior, Nyria having Rogue. There's a lot more diversity in there.
So I think it's a very good group for Dog. I think our deck is bad in the mirror, but it's very, very well teched against everything else, especially Warriors. So that's basically the focus, since before the tournament we saw that there are a lot of people who are going to come in with Warrior. And as for Gallon versus Nyria, I think Gallon has a slight disadvantage because of Nyria's techs, and I think Nyria did a really good job using mechs to beat Warrior.
Yeah, it's been a good performance for him. But let's go ahead and take a look at Dog's deck list. We are going to be jumping into Dog versus Hypno momentarily. But this is the deck that you've been talking about. So talk to me a little bit about the overall strategy of this deck.
Okay, so our first main deck, we want to balance ourselves against Hunter and board flood decks like Token Druid while being still really good against Warrior. So against Warrior, we have Harrison Jones Ooze decks, and then we have all the big minions like Astromancers in our main decks, which a lot of the normal Cyclone mains just don't have. And what really shines is our secondary, where we have... Wait a second. The secondary and tertiary is a little bit swapped, but our secondary deck is the Deranged Doctor, Arcane Dynamo, Khadgar Snip Snap, which adds a lot of value and thickness, which is a big deal because Deranged Doctor is able to heal 8, and the only way we really lose, because losing on board is really, really hard, since we're playing Freeze Mage and we have better minions qualities with Conjure Callings, and Deranged Doctor allows us to make up our life total, which is the only thing that Bomb Warrior has against us.
Yeah, and we saw actually Dog with the Arcane Dynamo get a power of creation to win the game with Reckless Rocketeer earlier on in the tournament. But taking a look at Hypno's decks, his primary deck is a little interesting as well, because he has both like an Execute, which is not standard, and Aslane Soul Thief in the primary.
That actually worked out really well in his previous matchup against Dogs in groups. I don't think that was being broadcasted, but I was able to watch backstage, and what Azalina really did was allow Dog not to be able to hold cards, which is something that you really, really want to do in the matchup. Like Frost Novas and Astromancers become a liability in the late game because the Warrior can Azalina you, and if they have a board advantage, which sometimes they do if they win a brawl, for instance, and they can play Astromancer Nova you, and you're on the back foot taking damage while drawing bombs at the same time. But what Hypno doesn't do very well with his deck against us is that he doesn't actually have Alex in his main deck, so it's hard for him to get a really fast start. He can't do the coin 3 into 3 into multiple bombs and then get a very consistent 6-bomb Blastmaster Boom, which is really, really vital in this matchup.
So would you still give the favor over to Dog as we get into game 1 here?
I think Dog is 80% plus versus Warrior.
Okay.
So, which really reflects in our record, because I think we're like 6-1 or 7-1 versus Warrior in this tournament.
And
combined.
wasn't the didn't Dog lose to Hypno in one of the rounds?
He was
That's his only loss.
Yeah, only loss. And from what I've recalled from Dog, he lost every single 1-4, 1-5 brawl.
Okay.
And it happens because this is such a big tournament. The variance really gets to you. Yeah, pretty good hand for Dog, I say, because he just has the Luna Pocket Galaxy. In this Mage deck, I think that Luna Pocket Galaxy really, the buff really made the deck unfair. Like, what, beforehand, I know that So Legit is a Hearthstone player that plays a lot of Freeze Mage, and Freeze Mage is just a really fair deck, right? But now you can actually add minions into it and then win off minions. This feels like the really old Gunther Mage that used to play with like the Medivh, and then you can generate value on board and just out-pressure your opponents with like low-cost tempo swings. So this is actually a decent hand for Hypno as well, but he doesn't have most of his game-winning cards like his 7-drops, right? Wow, this is actually a really good result for Dog because he wants... Hypno really wants the bombs to be in the deck at this point in the game, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't allow Dog to heal off Ziliax, and it allows his Blastmaster Boom to be a good top deck. Because he doesn't have a way of generating multiple bombs in his deck.
Yeah. No Augmented Elix. He's just got the double Clockwork Goblin and double Wrench Caliber, and that's it. It looks like he's teched his primary deck to beat mages. The only thing he's missing is kind of that big game hunter.
Yeah.
But he's got Super Collider main deck, double Brawl in main deck, which has not been a popular inclusion, as well as Execute.
So really good that Dog had Frostbolt. So in this game, most of the early game, we really want the Frostbolt and Doomsayer to slow down the Warrior. So if we take a bunch of chip damage, we could die to bombs. But Dog is able to maintain a pretty good life total considering like one of the bombs actually hit him. So he only took 3 damage from minions, which is a very fantastic result for now. And he got the Luna's Pocket Galaxy off as well, and not facing down a lot of pressure. What Hypno really wanted to do is have a 3-drop into 4-drop, like a strong 4-drop, like Omega Devastator even on curve, and then maybe even curve into Ziliax or Snip Snap, and really put damage, which he doesn't have. Unfortunately, he has all the reactive cards. I think he's really considering silencing his 2/5 and putting that onto the board, even though silence is really good against Novas, but he just can't let this game drag on because Dog is going to get more and more advantage with each card he draws since the Luna Pocket Galaxy, and I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, very good spot, and that's kind of the way we've seen over the past, even like 4 weeks, even if you think about Grandmasters, the way that Warrior has beaten Mage is by pressure.
Yeah, because what the Mage list actually lacks is removal, right? So Dog doesn't actually have any real AoEs that deal 3 damage. Blizzard only deals 2, so Blizzard itself is still a tempo loss because we still have to spend another turn pinging minions from Hypno.
There's the Doomsayers, like Frost Nova Doomsayer, but because Hypno, his hand is full of removal, the little bit of board that he has is usually going to be protected. Even if Doomsayer comes down, he has a way to deal with it most of the time.
Exactly. This is actually pretty frustrating. He drew 3 cards, no minions. I think he's going to use maybe even triple Ray of Frost to clear this 4-3. I actually really like it since Hypno spent this turn to play Spellbreaker, which means that his hand's very light. Okay, he even saves 1, which makes a lot of sense since he doesn't have a really clear good play next turn. So he knows that he has the mana to ping. Yeah,
and it also keeps his Rabble Bouncers cheap in case he doesn't draw a minion and needs to generate something. I guess not clearing off the Spellbreaker makes sure that Rabble Bouncer at the very least can come down. But all of his minions are 1 cost. Mountain Giants are 0 cost, so...
Yeah, he doesn't have the conch as well, and he's lacking card draw. I think he just drew too many minions. And this matchup isn't a matchup that Rabble Bouncer is very effective in as well. So you don't really want to see that card. Hypno doing what Warrior is actually pretty known to do these days. Just play minions on curve. 4/5 is actually really hard for Mage to deal with. Yeah, no Giant is what... So basically, we don't really have anything to do until turn 7. Wow, here comes a Giant, but this reduction actually doesn't do very much. It allows him to play Rabble Bouncer, so he can save a freeze for later with Antonidas, which is actually kind of a big deal, because if he doesn't have this Mountain Giant reduced, I think he might have to pair it off with like Ray of Frost something, which he doesn't want to do this early in the game.
Yeah. So from your experience, what's been kind of like the main win condition against Warrior? Not so much like just play minions generally, but what's the card that kind of puts the nail in the coffin? Is it Antonidas in the late game?
I think it's more Caligos, especially if you get it reduced.
Okay.
Like Caligos allows you to do very, very unfair things, especially with the side decks. But Caligos allows you to get more fireballs out of Antonidas, allows you to have more flexibility into your game plan, and allows you to play more minions, along with having a minion that can be conjured on the same turn.
Yeah.
So here he drew Ziliax. It's unfortunate that he doesn't have a very good minion to pair it off, but I think we'll be seeing the Shield Slam onto the 2/7 to push 3 more damage, because every single damage matters for Hypno.
He's debating, it looks like he might be debating on...
Using the execute.
He can execute and Shield Slam the Mountain Giant here, and still push 2.
I actually am not a huge fan of removing both minions. I think the Mountain Giant doesn't do as much as he thinks, because if the Dog had Conch Calling, he would have played it, right?
Yeah.
So this Giant is just an 8/8, and he has enough life total to deal with other things. Sometimes...
just an 8/8. 8/8s are big!
Yeah, 8/8s are big, but there are like other very, very key cards that you're afraid of that you have to have removal for, like Antonidas, for instance.
Yeah.
So this actually gives Dog the green light to drop Antonidas, maybe freeze the 4/5, and have a decent chance at it sticking.
Yeah.
But he's trying to consider if he wants to clear the board off a little bit, because later on, the Antonidas becomes more and more weak at the closer Hypno gets to turn 10, since his next Omega Devastator is online. But on the bright side for Dog is that his opponent doesn't have the Omega Draw 3 Max. What's it called?
Omega Assembly?
Okay,
Yeah.
Omega Assembly.
Come on, man. You've been playing Warrior and GM for like 4 weeks now.
Yeah, but that card, man. That card, I just play it.
Yeah. Don't even look at it. Just play it. Just get the mechs.
Get the max, draw 3 max. Oh, Omega Assembly, sorry.
Yeah.
And that's like a very, very consistent way of getting removal, since there's 2 really good Warrior mechs, which I think are weighted in to get, right?
Yep. Discover effects in general, because Omega Assembly is inherently a Discover effect, even though you get all 3 options, means you can only get 1 of each, and it is weighted towards class cards.
Ooh, good ordering for Hypno. He's going to bump up into the Antonidas and then play the Warpath. So this is where the Azalina really shines. So Hypno has no good cards in his hand, pretty much.
Wow, he's ignoring it. Okay, 6 damage upstairs.
I'm actually not sure if I like this.
Well, he does have Azalina. He knows there's a Fireball in hand.
Okay,
so if he sticks 1 minion and can Azalina, then if Dog doesn't have healing, which it's limited to what, Ziliax
and Alexstrasza.
And Alexstrasza, maybe Arcane Keysmith with Ice Barrier, but Fireball bypasses that.
But Dog has a way of only having 1 Fireball in his hand, so he can play the Ziliax and double Fireball, clear board, and be in a very, very good spot, I'd say. So he would have to Fireball the Divine Shield, though, or actually pinging and Fireballing the Divine Shield actually does not make a difference in this situation. He can't. He doesn't want to be in a situation where he gives his opponent 2 Fireballs. Actually, if Dog's really, really thinking about this spot, he might know that his opponent has Azalina in his hand from this play.
Ah, yeah, because he knows that Hypno knows that he has a Fireball.
Yes, exactly. Like, why would you not clear Antonidas here?
Yeah. Also, expenditure of removal. Maybe Dog was thinking that not worth removing both these minions. He spent Execute and Shield Slam.
Yeah, now Dog's in a problem because his opponent's board isn't fully clear when he plays when Azalina comes down. Well, this is actually going to be pretty close. So he actually can't. Can he Azalina this turn? I feel like double Warpath plus Militia Commander into Azalina next turn is slightly better. But it opens himself up to Dog's 1-mana minions, because he has a pretty weak board after that.
I think the big question is whether Dog will recognize that Azalina could be in the hand and will dump these Fireballs before it's a possibility.
Dog should definitely recognize it, because they played in this matchup before, and Azalina proved to be a big problem for him.
Yeah.
Wow, I think he actually is just going to go for the coin Azalina. And he'll get the Nova as well, and basically just sets up lethal. Can Dog do anything about it?
Let's see. If he Alex Straws this?
I actually think he's just checkmated here. Wow. What a good setup by Hypno.
Yeah, because this is exactly 9 damage on board. So even if Dog defensively Alex Straws, he just fireballs the Ziliax, or pushes face with 9, and then fireballs again.
Or he trades in the 2-3 into Ziliax. The exact same situation.
Yeah, for sure. That's...
Yeah, the thing really impressed me was Hypno didn't take that long to turn, like, to really set it up.
Yeah.
So I think it really made Dog not realize it. Like, think about the problem of having 2 fireballs in his hand.
Also, just the small thing of utilizing coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple thing, obviously, because you're dumping your hand. But being able to have that excess mana was what allowed him to play Frost Nova, which negated the healing from Ziliax, which could have been the difference maker.
Yeah. Very good stuff from Hypno this game.
Yep, and all shipped upstairs, and that means that Hypno, 1-game lead in the series. This choice for the primary with Azalina Solti paying off. Obviously for Hypno, very good Swiss record, 10-2, was at the top of the standings for a while. But 1 game in the books. And is Dog going to switch here to a secondary?
It's actually apparently our tertiary.
Tertiary deck.
Oh,
okay.
I see. So
maybe Dog just submitted out of order.
Yeah, he submitted it. Ordering low.
Not that it matters. There's no difference between submitting secondary and tertiary because after game 1 you can switch to either one regardless.
I see. When I saw them play last time, I don't think Hypno changed decks. So
no, his tertiary deck has the EMP operative and Owls, and his secondary deck looks like it's tech for mirror matchups. He put in the double Omega Assembly, Cairn, Archivist Lysiana, the Boom Reaver. So it looks like it's for Warriors.
It is for Warriors, but it might still be good for Mage. Although he does take out some key cards like the Super Collider, which is very, very important versus Dog. So I don't think he's going to be switching. One major thing that he doesn't have that most Warriors has is Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah, no Acolyte of Pain.
I think Acolyte of Pain comes a long way versus Mage because you need to be drawing the bombs, right? Yeah. So, but his deck sort of makes sense because he doesn't have that many bombs.
Yeah, it doesn't have that many bombs, and also because of Azalina, he's incentivized to kind of
dump his hand.
His hand and set up for Azalina Soul Thief. So the deck just kind of works. It feels like it kind of works, and like his tech, even though Mech Paladin was not that popular of a choice for the field, the double Iron Beak Owl and EMP operative we've seen on broadcast kind of dismantle Mech Paladin, even to an extent Mech Hunter, which we saw a little bit of as well. So we did get word that Dog did, of course, switch to his tertiary list. You saw on screen, added the Arcane Dynamo, the Deranged Doctor, Snip Snap, and the second Arcane Keysmith. So a lot more stuff, and Deranged Doctor could be pretty helpful, I feel.
So Arcane Dynamo, mostly we think that Pyroblast is a good finisher, and then we can get Power Creation and Luna Pocket Galaxy. These are all really good pulls against Warriors specifically. Although I think we decided that there are better choices like Cairn or more things to play on tempo. Turned out to be better, and then cards like Doomsayer actually turned out a lot better against Warrior than we expected. So I think going in the future, there's going to be some changes to this deck because we didn't really have that much time to make our switches or change decks, and we were the only 2 players in this tournament that did change to Mage.
Yeah.
With the deadline, right before the deadline.
Yeah, a lot of players switched to Hunter. I think there was like 8 players that switched over to Hunter. No Hunters in the top 8 though, so not really paying off for him. But I yesterday during the broadcast, after I saw Dog's your guys' Mage deck for the first time, I called it the future of Mage.
Wow.
I love the deck. I was playing it a little bit. It felt like the bad matchups weren't all that bad. It just felt like it had consistency against a lot of stuff. Mana Cyclone, while you said it's good because you oftentimes get freezes in the mirror, I just don't like it that much because of inconsistency.
Okay, so Dog kept Acolyte and Snip Snap.
Okay.
And what a beautiful hand for Hypno. The Wrench Caliber, which is the most important since it puts 2 bombs. for 1 card, and then it allows him to curve into coin boom. And Dog missed coin both games, and that's a pretty big yikes for Mage.
Yeah.
Because you really get value for each card you get.
Yeah.
Each card you have in your hand.
We calculated statistics across all 3 regions of Grandmasters. In Mage Mirrors, Mage win rate on coin was like 63%.
Wow.
So you get, even in a Cyclone Mage Mirror matchup, you get like that 13% swing just by having the coin. So it is a pretty big deal. Now, there are outliers, of course. In the first group stage match with Possessi, he won his game 2 off the coin against Pheno, but does give you an edge.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very noticeable, too. It changes your mulligan completely. Because you're allowed to keep, like, greedy cards like Conjurers and Giant, whereas going first, it's just 1 turn behind that you can't really afford. Wow, he actually decided to ping this Ethereum Rover. I think it's to set up the Snip Snap to be able to value trade into it, which I like. So he's going to play Snip Snap on 2 to contest board, which I'm very big fan of. Snip Snap's just such a strong minion, like just by itself. I think in the future we'll be seeing Snip Snap in almost every single deck.
It's good.
Unless there's a downside, like Kangor's pulling the 1/1s or like that.
Yeah, we saw like Mekaru cut in a lot of the Mech Paladins for that very reason. Like the very early iterations right after the Rise of the Next patch had Mekaru and Mech Paladin, and they were cut almost instantly. One of the reasons why Replicating Menace isn't played as well.
So Deranged Doctor comes to Doc's hand, which is the tech card. You don't really want to be drawing him at 8 mana. Wow, he forgoes board here and just plays Intellect. Pretty interesting. I think it's actually... I actually am not that big a fan because you're pretty vulnerable to your opponent playing Snip Snap. I guess if your opponent plays Snip Snap onto their Ethereum Rover value trades your Snip Snap, you're pretty in the back foot, and you know that Hypno kept so many cards in his mulligan that it's very likely, since that is a thing you keep.
Ooh, Coin Wrench Caliber.
Coin Wrench Caliber. Just because of Harrison Jones, right? Because now you can get a swing before Dog Harrison's it, and you definitely want the 2 bombs in Dog's deck since you don't have very much bomb generation in your deck.
Yeah. A few small downsides, though. He's more... What? That's the second game in a row that's happened. That's
so good for Dog, actually.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It increases the chance that Dog draws the bombs earlier because there's 1 more turn, and you delay Blastmaster Boom by a turn. So, like, on average, your Blastmaster Boom is smaller because Dog has more of a chance to draw the bombs.
Yeah, now it's just a pretty clean Keystone's turn. I think you really want to be finding Counterspell, Barrier are the 2 big ones. Okay, nice. Ice Barrier. Spellbinder is consideration if you're ahead or have Giant because it stops Shield Slam. But without it, I think he just takes the Barrier and tries to gain as much life as possible because you always win late game.
What other like defensive tools can this deck possibly have? I guess Arcane Dynamo could find like Power of Creation,
and then some taunts, No, Arcane Dynamo doesn't really fetch that many defensive tools.
Yeah, Blizzard maybe?
Oh, Flame Strike sometimes, because they play against normal Bomb Warriors where they played like the 3-4, 3-3, it's really hard for us to clear. And we usually want our 8 attack minions going face, so we just go face, freeze, and then we Arcane Dynamo pull like, oh look, a Flame Strike, and we just clear everything.
Yeah.
Since Bomb Warrior kind of doesn't want to trade either. Another tough turn. There's 2 options I think that make sense here. Snip Snap, double Ray of Frost, or Acolyte. I think he wants to save the Snip Snap for turn 6 for double. So I think he might go Acolyte Ping, but that is so slow. Yeah, I think Acolyte Ping is just better, and then double Snip Snap next turn to develop on board. But this opens up to Hypno just playing the Zilliax and going face again.
Well, he does have double Snip Snap into Zilliax, so if Snip Snap lives, that's a big burst of healing.
Yeah, that's a really good draw from Dog. We were actually thinking about a version of Mage with double Mechanic Whelp, and then Undertaker, and then we have the Range Doctor. So we have those 3 Death Rattles for Undertaker.
Okay.
And then we can use the Mechanical Whelp's 7/7 body to attach to the Zilliax and then heal back pretty much to full.
Okay.
And
that seems very slow.
That is
very
very
slow.
slow. You don't really do very much, but
Against Control Warrior, maybe I can see it.
yeah, but it has a lot of value.
Okay.
It has a lot of value.
I'll take your word for it.
It was good consideration. We never tested though, so that was the downside of even considering bringing it.
Well, that seems to be your MO. You're a very theoretical, in the mind kind of player, not really much so testing, right?
Yeah, just recently though.
Yeah.
He can actually conj his opponent's Ethereum remover and then get a value trade on most 1/1s. I kind of like that, since I still think he'll win the value game late. So I don't mind using a conj here. All other plays seem kind of bad, actually. I actually don't even think he has any other options than just conjing his opponent's Ethereum remover.
You could try and set up double snip snap.
Yeah, and
be
then
a 4/6.
take 8.
Take 8. Yep.
Yeah, that's rough.
Or 7, whatever. He does bank the healing though, because Hypno not really incentivized to kill the snip snap, especially with dogs at 15. So he can attach it, get a 7 heal. I mean, that seems pretty good.
He is going to double snip snap here.
He's got to move quick.
Yeah, and then combine them together. Oh. Wow, this is wow, dog plays so much different than how I would play the deck. That's very interesting.
Did you give him some
And
coaching before the match took place?
A little bit, but clearly he's not playing how I imagine this matchup. And I also did pretty well versus Warrior. Like, the only 2 wins I had in this tournament were actually versus Warrior.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. Like, I guess Frost Nova just doesn't have very much. You can't really get that much value off Frost Nova in this. But the main issue is not removing your opponent's board means you kind of have to freeze your opponent's board every single turn, or else they will end up just putting more damage onto the board, right? So, so your Frost Nova would have been better this turn rather than last turn.
Yeah.
So generally, Frost Nova is a card that you save for later. But this Ziliax is very, very juicy, and it actually lines up very well against his opponent's Ziliax.
Yeah.
Ethereum over here.
Even has Frostbolt to kind of clean up the board a little bit.
And Hypno's hand is sizzling out of value as well. Like, he has the Blastmaster Boom, which is going to come down next turn. But do you really want to play Blastmaster Boom into this 5/5 Snip Snap that heals Dog? So I don't think so. I think he wants to Shield Slam it.
Yeah, Shield Block, Shield Slam, or Armor Up, Shield Slam, but I guess Shield Block, you have extra mana, might as well utilize it.
Problem with this is this gives Dog tempo, and he can play Deranged Doctor or Astrologist?
Astromancer?
Astromancer on an empty board, which is where you want to be as Mage.
Yeah.
20 life, have tempo, only 1 bomb in your deck. Ooh.
And 2 Conjurers Calling in hand.
Yeah, this is a tough spot. Does he want to save the Shield Slam or for a Giant, per se, or just suicide a Militia Commander into this 5/5?
Suiciding Militia Commander gives him 5 health.
Yeah, it's actually tough because he doesn't have removal for Giant or Astromancer, but on it by themselves. Actually, he has a Super Collider, so Dog is less incentivized to play Astromancer and more incentivized to just play a Deranged Doctor. And then Dog has pretty good follow-up as well, like Arcane Dynamo, Conjure Calling, stuff like that are all strong plays coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Super Collider up, I think it's kind of unfortunate Dog didn't draw his 2 weapon removals, but I think Dog will play the Deranged Doctor and gain 8. But he actually doesn't really gain 8. Tough turn here.
Is there ever merit to playing the Arcane Dynamo here and get the mana out of the way while the coast is clear?
Sort of, but that's your lowest cost minion to Conj Calling that has like decent value, right? And you gain from conjuring it. There's also consideration just ping Doomsayer, because once you are going to come up more and more ahead on board, and once you get on ahead on board, Doomsayer gets 0 value. So by ping Doomsayer, you get like one drop of value, right?
Dog's face. I was talking to him earlier. I think this was before you came here, and Dog was questioning the deranged doctor. He was saying, I don't know how good my techs are.
Yeah, the frozen tech.
The frozen tech. There it is.
Shield Slam, Dr. Boom. Pretty strong turn for Hypno here.
Yeah. Just 2 boom bots though. Good old Dr. Boom.
So
The OG.
Going to be interesting what Dog does here. Ooh, that's a good pickup for he. But the Super Collider is proving to be a huge issue for Dog since no weapon removal draw halfway through the deck.
Yeah. Has the 1 acidic Swamp Ooze and the copy of Harrison Jones.
He can play Ray Frost and then Doomsayer ping. That's one option. He's seen a Shield Slam. The only real way that Hypno can kill a Doomsayer actually is a second Shield Slam. Like he has also, I guess, Militia Commander number 2.
What to do? What to do?
Wait, I guess Spellbreaker as well. Wow, Spellbreaker is actually really good in this scenario since even if Dog freezes the 7/7, you can Spellbreaker it to go face.
Yeah.
He's just gonna choose the Frost Nova Doomsayer, which I kind of like, but I think Dog is actually in the back foot this game.
Yeah. He also kind of knows that he's going into 9 mana, so one turn off from a Mega Devastator value. This is probably the most likely his Doomsayer is ever going to be to go off.
Yeah, and Hypno just has everything that's really good still in his deck, like Omega Devastators. He didn't have to play them on curve.
Yep. Azalina is Soul Thief as well. Still hasn't even played Dr. Mad Genius, which may not be like the ultimate best card in the matchup because it's not necessarily about the resource game, right? It's more about tempo and whether or not Dog can stabilize enough in the late game to play big threats.
Khadgar, Astromancer, freeze?
Yeah.
Or
Super Collider's just so rough in that position.
Yeah, Arcane Dynamo, Conch Calling, and then freeze. 2 options. Both pretty poor, I'd say.
Yeah, if you Khadgar or Astromancer, you're just getting 2 5 drops.
Khadgar is probably not so good here. Ooh, these are all decent pulls. Probably Blizzard or Flame Strike, I'd say. Pocket Galaxy is a little bit too slow here since he needs to take another turn off to play the Pocket Galaxy.
Yeah.
Time runs out on me.
I probably, I don't know, man. He could also like do some weird prep play. Like he could double. Wow, he just takes the Pocket Galaxy. I guess he thinks he needs like Caligos or a 1 mana Alexstrasza or Mountain Giant to swing back the board with the Khadgar in his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I see this more and more now.
Yeah. Super Collider's just going to stop pretty much any play that he can currently make in his hand. And with not many cards in hand, he needs to find cheap stuff to be able to combo.
This is actually such an awkward position for Hypno. Look at his hand. Like, there's nothing he wants to play here. There's actually nothing besides maybe Harrison for an extra body, but all his cards are so awkward with the Acolyte on board.
Yeah. With Omega Devastator is just such a premium removal. He could trade off his little stuff with Super Collider.
So he's just going to punch in, play Harrison Jones, trade 2 minions.
Yeah. Ooh, 4.
Ooh. Okay.
That belongs in a museum.
Yeah, the double Shield Slam early game for Hypno really shut Dog down. Usually aren't able to answer that many threats. Wow, and he pulls his actual Pocket Galaxy the next turn. All right, Galaxy, Keysmith, freeze. Nothing too special here.
Yeah.
Only problem is he has no card draw, so he's just gotta like heart of the cards, everything.
Well, he's got a lot of very large 1 mana threats, sometimes 0 mana threats in his deck.
So splitting image, both Shield Slams are gone, so I think Spellbender doesn't actually hit. Oh, 1 execute in his deck, so.
Yep.
So it plays around the 1 execute, but I think this late into the game, it's
What to do?
you would not take Spellbender here. Like,
We must band together.
I didn't even see what he took.
for Dalaran.
wow, he's just gonna go on board this turn. That's not what you want to see. That's
My shield for
yeah,
our
none of these are something you want to see. Everything's just gonna be cleaned up by the Warpath.
Oh,
Ooh, wait, those two get lackeys, right?
they do. They do get lackeys. It's only 1 lackey each, I believe, but it's still some type of value. Get a couple of ethereal lackeys and maybe some removal. And the one thing about Warpath is that it does damage his own minions.
Yeah, but even then, Dog still doesn't have ways to clean up.
Yeah.
Um,
But this kind of gets rid of the plan that it seemed like he was going with
Yeah.
last turn with, he didn't even pocket Galaxy, so he doesn't have the ability to draw a one-man threat.
This is very good for Dog since it gives it Dog hand size for Astromancer. And even Mountain Giant since he hasn't played a Pocket Galaxy yet.
Yeah.
So he's going to play 1 Warpath to test for CS.
Well, he played the shield block first.
Oh,
so.
yeah, okay, so that's already tested. And then go face for 1 with the Rover. Play another Warpath. This 5 damage from Harrison actually hurts.
Yeah.
Like, hurts a lot.
And now he's checked for everything but Mirror Entity and Splitting Image.
And Spellbender.
Oh, and Spellbender, but he doesn't really... Execute's the only thing he has left in his deck for Spellbender.
Yeah.
So he takes a second in things, but...
Oh, he needs Yield 2 Lackey? That's really good.
Okay.
Oh, wow, he actually plays around the Splitting Image right here as well.
That's really heads-up play.
Yeah. It's so likely to be Splitting Image as well.
Yeah. Little late.
All right, so what is Dog's play here? He still goes for the Harrison?
Harrison hoped to pick up... Does he have a Ray of Frost left?
No, I think he used both.
Both. He has a Frostbolt left.
Yeah, Frostbolt would be good. Frostbolt would be actually D-nuts.
He could if he picks up a dud, he could play Conjurer's Calling, try and get a 5-drop taunt.
Yeah, and then ping off the 5-1.
And then ping off the 5-1. He could also try and get something like Hench Clan Hogsteed or Bluegill Warrior from the Faceless Lackey, but that's very low percentage. It would help him clear up the 7 damage off the board, though. He could Faceless Lackey, trade that in, Kobold Lackey, and ping. So it would be a full board clear if he gets it. And he
Yeah.
has the extra mana, even if he wants to Conch Calling.
Yeah, I think he wants the extra mini on board just to contest. Like, he wants to try to put everything he can on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just thinking what's better, like 2 5-drops or these lackeys.
Running out of time.
Oh, he's actually gonna conjure and then and then play the Kobold to deal 1. So he, wow! Oh, he can deal 2 to the 7-4. What a pick up!
Wow.
That
All
is
right.
insane. Well, but Hypno, on the other hand, now Hypno can actually play the late game. Since Dog is so low and has to play all his resources so awkwardly, he wasn't able to get good conches off, right? He didn't get his Giant's conch or didn't get his the Range Doctor's Astromancer's conched. So Dog might get outvalued since Hypno had such a smooth early game.
Yeah, and the awkward thing is Hypno can hold on to a resource to deal with Archimage Tinnitus, and he also still has Azlean in his deck. And he's
Yeah.
at 50 life.
Yeah.
Even more if you account for Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So
That's actually insane.
I'm so glad.
Kaboom, not super helpful. He's still not going to be able to kill... what's that? Something villain?
Recurring
3/6?
villain.
Recurring villain, yeah. If it's 4 or more attack, it respawns?
Yes.
When you kill it? Okay.
Yes.
You knew that card quickly, and you didn't know Omega Assembly, so I'm beginning to think you've tested a deck with Recurring Villain. Okay, there we go.
There's an infinite possibility with Holy Wrath Paladin that was our consideration to bring before we switched to Mage.
Is it a Mortal Prelate and Undertaker?
Yeah.
With Recurring Villain?
Yeah,
And then the Undertaker just keeps respawning?
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But we weren't gonna play that exact list, but we had something similar brewed up.
I see.
So now I don't think Dog can afford to conj, but this does play into second Warpath. Yeah, I don't think Dog can afford to play a conj on this board, just because conj is such a premium resource for his 1-mana minions that he'll eventually have with Luna.
Yeah.
But he's considering it since his opponent is at 54 life, and to win the game, you do have to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
Time runs out on me.
Especially since Hypno still has 2 Clockwork Goblins and a Wrench Caliber in deck, which means that the slower Dog tries to end this game, the faster he's going to die to bombs.
Hypno can actually do nothing and then save the 2 bombs and wait for the Dog to have no cards and OTK him. Ooh, Azalina is such a huge bait.
Do you want 2 Luna's Pocket Galaxies?
Azalina is such a huge bait for Hypno here. He doesn't know what Dog has, and every time it's been good. But this is the one situation that's been bad. But I think Hypno does recognize and will use his removal, like his really strong cards against Dog first.
Yeah.
So he has actually a full clear, right? Wait, no, he's 1 mana off.
He's 1 mana off. I mean, there's a potential for a full clear with Omega
Actually,
Devastator.
he does have a full clear. He can just rush it into the 3/3 and then play the.
And then play the Dynamatic. Yeah, you're right.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
Yeah, I think Hypno just had the perfect draw ordering in this game. Yeah, Dynamatic, clear it. And then he can set up for Azalina.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, even if he gets 2 Pocket Galaxies and a bunch of other nonsense, it doesn't matter. He's trading a Brawl for that, and he's ahead. So Brawl is not even going to come into the picture, it feels.
Wow. I think Dog's really gonna feel bad that he picked the Luna's Pocket Galaxies and a Flame Strike.
Yeah.
Flame Strike would have been pretty good here. I also thought that the Luna Pocket Galaxy was gonna be too slow when picked at turns at 6 mana.
Yeah.
Especially when he wasn't doing that insane on board. Like, if you're ahead on board, all you have to do is, like, make your hand better, right? And Luna's Pocket Galaxy does that, and it helps you refill. But he wasn't that far ahead, so I wasn't personally a fan of Luna's Pocket Galaxy pick that turn.
Yeah, I thought his, even if he picked it, I thought he was going to play it the next turn, but he deviated and went for the Khadgar Carnage Calling on the 3-drop.
Which ended up a lot better since he's not been picking up any value off the top. But Dog's last few cards, like, he still has the Caligos, still has the Alexstrasza in his deck, so I wouldn't count him out of it yet. But yeah, 50 life for his opponent is going to take a lot of minions going face.
Yeah.
And he has to double freeze because he's trying to bait out the Brawl. It's such a sad story because Hypno really does not have to do anything.
I just don't think Dog has time.
So, well, now Azalina is actually pretty good because he can play Azalina and then conjure the Azalina, get 2 7-drops, and be ahead of Dog again.
He does know that there is one Conjurer's Calling in hand, or at least a second half of one, because Dog used one portion of it earlier.
So I think it is the play. It's just the play here.
But if you give up Clockwork Goblin, that's 1 less bomb. Maybe Clockwork Goblin Azalina?
But then, if Dog clears your board, you have no minions to conch anymore. But he
doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that,
Yeah.
yeah. He doesn't know that Dog's hand is so garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Somebody order a bomb.
Ooh, there's also the consideration that Dog picked the Luna's Pocket Galaxy to play around Azalina because he doesn't want his opponent to be getting Blizzards or Flame Strikes, and he thinks that he doesn't have time to do it himself.
That's a possibility.
All right, so well, on the bright side, Hypno doesn't actually have removal for Antonidas, but Dog can't clear enough of the board up so that Antonidas is uncontested.
What to
He
do?
does have emergency removal to it.
Yeah, technically can leave his opponent with 6 power, which allows the Antonidas to be free. But Dog knows that his opponent doesn't have removal, so this is the turn to go in, just Antonidas conj, even though you die to 1 bomb. I don't think Dog can play any slower from here.
Yeah, there's the potential to get some taunts here as well.
There's a lot of 6, 7-drop taunts, actually.
Yeah. Amani Warbear, Tunnel Blaster,
Ooh.
Reckless Rocketeer.
That's been a friend for Dog this tournament.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's a lot of 7-drop taunts, like 7 mana 5/9. I'll just list that 7 mana 3/7.
A Tunnel Blaster,
Yeah.
the Furious Etten.
Yeah.
There's Amani Warbear, the 5/7
4.
Rush.
I know this because I was playing and then my opponent had to conjure my 7-drop 2/7. Oh, Rabble Bouncer as well.
Rabble
I had
Bouncer.
to conjure my Rabble Bouncer to get through to lethal me, and he conjured it, gave me a taunt, conjured it, gave me another taunt, and couldn't quite get there.
Yeah. There's some good 6/1s too, like Damage Stegatron and Sunwalker.
Wow, is this the comeback? Wait.
Oh, it's a mech.
That's a mech.
It has Rush.
Oh, and it allows him to execute.
Oh, and he draws
Maybe another Dynomatic.
Dynomatic. I think has he used both the Mega Devastators?
No, he could draw Devastator as well. Wow, that's huge.
Or Snip Snap.
Wow, if he really knows his deck, he could trade it into the 5/2 and draw the Devastator.
But he also has he has a Clockwork
can't be
Goblin as
sure.
well.
Well, I think he played both.
Did he play both? Okay. I thought he only played one because he played one Range Caliber. Not sure.
Oh,
There's Dynomatic.
okay, so execute. And then just gain the 7 armor, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
57 life. Like, he doesn't even need it. He doesn't even need the Blast Shield. He can just play
Alright,
Acidic
so
Swampers.
here the dream is Luna, Intellect, double Caligos.
How about a Mountain Giant?
Not quite as good. Definitely not quite as good. He could play 5 Acidic Swampers with this. might honestly be better than this Giant.
Oh, because of Kunta Kroskin. You're right.
Trade into the 3/3, trade into the 3/2. Wow, Dog is suddenly ahead on board now, and Hypno's only answer in his deck, since he doesn't have the Omega Assembly to generate a bunch of removal, is Omega Devastator, right? He used both Shield Slams, both Executes,
Yep.
or one Execute,
One Execute.
and one Devastator. Yeah, he used one Devastator, so his only answer is one Devastator and another Brawl, I believe.
Yeah, he has no Mega Assemblies, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
He could get Delivery Drone into something, and honestly, he has a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time.
He does have a Wrench Caliber as well, which means that he would have to take 7 at this point in order to activate it, but he already has a bomb in the deck.
It's quite
so
fine to take 7 and activate it,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Wow, what a top deck.
Okay.
This is becoming a nightmare for Dog, honestly. Just devastate the 7/8, go face, and then actually going face doesn't do that much. He's gonna use the Devastator to value trade the 3/4.
Okay then.
Well, I mean, if you microbots here, you're likely to get one of those through next turn, which would mean 1 bomb breakpoint. So maybe the 2 damage does matter a little bit.
Yeah, but Dog has an Alexstrasza in his deck. I think Hypno's deck doesn't actually go infinite, so if Dog can Alexstrasza the Wrench Caliber, since he has he has Ooze for Wrench Caliber, right? So if he can get a perfect Alexstrasza, and then Dog has a chance of winning with the last minion standing, and just punch with like Caligos or Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
Since Hypno just used his last removal.
The potential's there, but with 50 life and the Dr. Boom hero
Yeah.
power, it's going to be tough.
Just the hero power might be too much.
Yeah, like Delivery Drone into 1 Omega Devastator, or like, I don't know, a Boom Reaver.
Wow, so still no impactful minion for Dog.
Yeah. Bottom 6, I believe, is at least 1 bomb, Caligos, Alexstrasza, AI,
I think he has another Giant as well.
another Giant, and AI.
I think
Maybe even an Acolyte of Pain.
hasn't played Harrison Jones.
He did play Harrison Jones.
did play- yeah,
on a
okay.
one charge
He
Super
did play
Collider.
Harrison Jones. And then
Not a lot of great stuff
Yeah.
left. Well, there's pretty much Caligos and Alexstrasza are the 2 big things that he's looking for. Potentially a second Mountain Giant, but other than that, he's got some dead draws.
man,
What to do?
every turn these 2 Luna Pocket Galaxies in both people's hands. It just like the card looks so beautiful as well. So mesmerizing, except so useless.
Time runs out on me.
Yeah, Dog just dies to 1 bomb. He has to like fireball the 2/4, frostbolt the 4/1, ping a 1/1, maybe go face for hate.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate.
But 8 damage just feels like nothing right now.
Yeah, he decided to develop the ooze, but I don't think the ooze does anything.
Is a sad, sad hand for Dog, and Hypno, honestly, it doesn't really matter what he draws here, but he has Delivery Drone, so he can get something big. How about another Clockwork Goblin?
How about another bomb? It also allows him to full clear with the Dynomatic. Does this? Oh, I think he wants to push the 1, so...
Yeah, he can still full clear because the Dynomatic Rush.
Yeah,
Because the Dynomatic will deal the damage split, and then he effectively has 6 + 5, 11 attack just with Dynomatic Clockwork Goblin, so he can feel free to push the
extra 1 so
push
that
the extra 1.
Dog's at the 1 bomb breakpoint, and then it forces him to top deck Alex Straza.
Force him to top deck Alexstrasza or dodge a bomb, get Caligos, Power of Creation into taunts, and then into Alexstrasza. Like, very slim outs all the way across the board.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Yeah,
I think 3 out of 7 cards in the deck are bombs at the moment.
yeah, that's crazy. I think Hypno must be doing something right with his deck. Like, the cutting the assemblies somehow feels like it's making this matchup better.
Yeah, well, with Azalina and Salty, if you could make all of these cuts and not sacrifice too many points.
Easy Luna Pocket Galaxy, Intellect, and rip the Alex Caligos.
Alex and Caligos dodge both bombs,
Dodge
or all
both
3
bombs.
bombs.
Gotta do it.
Miracle turn right here.
Gotta do it. Just believe. Ping. Wait, what? Oh. Is this higher odds? Yeah, this probably is higher odds.
Because he can draw Alexstrasza next turn.
And then play the and then Caligos.
I don't know. This is
Yeah, I don't really know either.
well,
He
like a
needs
0.5% chance to win.
Yeah, he needs like Caligos into con calling, right? And then
Yeah.
win off 10 drops.
10 drops don't win that often. You need like Big Bad Archmage into taunts. And there's the bomb. Hypno 2-0 over Dog in the Group B initial match.
Wow. Congrats to Hypno though. He's played pretty spot on, I'd say.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. Love the deck. Very unique as far as warrior decks in this field have gone, especially with the primary deck taking a risk with the Azalina Sulfie.
And in this 1 Super Collider to punish the mages. So I think he's been, since there's so many mages in the top 8, I think he's been able to do pretty well against mage. And him not having to switch off the primary versus certain matchups.
It's very good.
Means that he got a really good read on the field.
Yeah, and his secondary deck looks like it's pretty good against Warriors as well, because at least when he's been winning a lot this tournament, his like average opponent has been like Mage or Warrior pretty much all the way up.
Exactly.
Because Warrior was the most brought deck to the tournament, and then Mage is the most represented deck in the top 8, and even in like the top 16. And there's the bracket. Dog's not out yet, so Dog fans out there, don't be too sad. He'll play tomorrow morning in the elimination match for Group B versus the loser of our final match for on stream today, which will be Gallon versus Nyria. And I'm guessing that Dog's going to be rooting for Nyria in that match.
Yeah.
And then rooting for, I don't know, to
Honestly,
get to the decider.
I think Dog's fine with both Rogue and Warrior since with his anti-weapon tech. I think he's fine with both matchups. Like, this is just the dream group for him. No Mage Mirrors.
Yeah, no Mage Mirrors and a couple Warriors, even though the one Warrior seemed to be the one that's giving him the trouble. Now Dog has 2 losses to Warrior so far this event. Both of them are to Hypno.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for this match. Frozen, thanks for joining me. You did provide a lot of analysis. I mean, I was kind of blown away by the thought process of the deck. So thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
For sure. Absolutely. But we're going to have to go to a quick break before we jump into our final match of the day between Gallon and Nyria. So don't go anywhere. More Hearthstone Masters Tour action right after this.